Hi, everyone. Ooh, I'm really, really, really excited to be here. I am I am Andrea Donnelly. For those of you who do not know me, I am a quantum sound and energy healer. I do all kinds of really amazing things with people all over the world as a quantum sound and energy healer. And every month I do a live energy forecast where I channel the incredible wealth of information that has guided me since I was a child. My guides are incredible. Some of you have heard me say this before, but I have worked with them and very clearly communicated with them since I was a baby. I also channel light language. I do all kinds of things. And now I have synthesized decades of metaphysical study and my own human journey this time and from other lifetimes, the relationship I have with the stars and with my ancestors. And I work with high achieving people all over the world to help you anchor into your highest timeline, to clear the things, the energetic blocks, and help you really align into the life of your dreams. So hello. Happy March. I'm really excited about this for a couple of reasons. One is, if you are joining me live, go ahead and just let me know if you have felt the same way. But I mean, it's been an intense couple of months, and it's been like that, right? It's like been very intense as a human experience for years at this point. We know what it's like to be alive on the planet Earth, but there's been something particularly intense about the past few months. And one of the things that my guides were showing me, January and March can always feel a little bit like slow and heavy. We're told the new year happens in January, but from a cycle of growth and change, like if you just look at the earth herself, the way that many religions and more ancient societies celebrated the new year was in March, when things actually started to rebloom. The seeds that had been planted actually grow during the spring, right? So there's something energetically to be aware of, that even though, we live the narrative that January is when the new year starts, from an energetic perspective, in January and February, those are really bridge months in a lot of ways for you to clear out the things that you were looking to really no longer carry with you. I use that imagery of your energetic bag of rocks, right? January and February are a really deep opportunity to lighten your load, so that as we spring into spring, we spring forward and we move into this really like magical window of creation, right? So many different animals, their babies are being born, the flowers are popping up. One of my dear friends lives on the West Coast, and so it's warmer there, right? So things have popped up sooner, but her whole lawn is full of flowers that are popping through. And this is the time for that energy of rebirth and renewal. And it's even bigger this year than it ever has been. Like it always feels that way in January and February, but there's something particularly big about the way that it is hitting everyone this year, because I'm not an astrologer, but I do tap into the energetics, and I often feel and see and am shown things and then find out that the astrology backs up, what it is that I'm essentially channeling and tapping into from a collective perspective. And this month is a really big window of transition, not just for each of us individually, but for the collective. This year is a really massive time of regrowth. And one of the things that I was shown to talk about is that we need to, it's really time. And if you're here, you're listening to this, right? You're hearing the call, you're living this truth, you're showing up for yourself. If you found my work, then you are someone who is already doing this. And whatever, which, and by doing this, what I mean is, we've been getting the call for years now from a spiritual perspective to really find a way to live in your own sacred truth, to really, I love to quote that movie, The Family Stone. Some of you, I'm sure, have heard me say this before, but there's I love rom-coms also. I'm a real sucker for a rom-com. And there is a moment in The Family Stone where one of the main characters looks at Sarah Jessica Parker and is like, you just need to let your freak flag fly. Like, let you're in a perpetual effort essentially to basically like role play as being normal, and you're not. You're really unique, you're really different, you're nowhere near as like sort of straight-laced as you are trying to convince the world you are, and you're fooling nobody, right? And so that's what the past few years have been about from an energetic perspective, have been, how do you as a human, right, being aware of the fact that from every angle we are taught to doubt ourselves, to feel shame about our physical bodies, to feel shame about so many different things, women, men, it's not just women, it's men too, but we are not taught to love ourselves. We're not taught to really sit in the energetics of really deep gratitude. Whatever your body is bringing to the table, your body has carried you through this lifetime, and you have lived in other lifetimes where you had a body that also held you so safe and protected. And so it's a really big call right now to anchor into this profound level of self-love, a profound level of saying, you know what? I'm not going to try to be the square peg that forces itself into a round hole because society tells me that this thing about myself I need to fix and change, and this thing about myself I need to fix and change, and and I'm not smart enough, and I'm not pretty enough, and I'm not rich enough, and I'm not this and that, and and it's like it literally comes from all angles, and it comes from every system. It comes from politics, it comes from education, it comes from culture, it comes from religion. There's so much religious programming that is about shame, and that those feelings of not, those feelings of shame for who you are, those ways that you were afraid to speak your truth, those are such a massive way of not being able to live in the field of abundance, of not being able to live in the field of money and magic and miracles and love, which is what my life's mission is, right? Is to help everyone who finds me reclaim your divinity. I talk about it a lot, but I always think and am shown that your spiritual gifts are your greatest currency. And one of the reasons why this is so important right now is as we move out of those systems of control and we enter the new earth, which is just an energetic experience, essentially, right? There are ways that it will, that it does present itself in 3D, but in a lot of ways, it's about energetic choices that each of us make, right? It's sort of surreal to be alive right now because it can feel like the person next to us in line at the grocery store, our family member, whomever, that they're living a radically different experience than we are. And what a surreal sort of strangeness to be navigating. It's it's amazing. It's amazing to witness. I am so grateful that I started the journey as a very young person. I learned how to meditate at 17, and I just fell, really deep into the metaphysical rabbit hole after having, as I mentioned, communicated with my guides for so long, from the time I have memories. And I'm really grateful that I was basically going through what my guides often refer to as like an Olympic level training ground for now, right? So I could hold you, all of my clients, We're here to remember my community in this energy of just like shameless, beautiful, fierce inner authority, and really being able to trigger a deep level of remembrance for you. Because one of the things, so I talked about how I am going to get into some of the common issues that people encounter as it relates to manifestation, and how you can shift course in order to really like essentially not fall into some of these common traps. And so this is a perfect segue into that. But one of the things that I think is just so important is that you really do whatever you're doing, whether it's working with me as a mentor to help you remember your spiritual gifts, whether it's your daily practice, whatever it is that you're doing to really amplify that frequency of loving yourself, of being grounded in your inner authority. That is also very much the ways that I am seeing over and over and over again with clients, that the ways that we can anchor, the way that you can anchor into a really deep level of making more money, of truly living in that field of what I always call money, magic, and miracles, right? Of being fully in that frequency, however we want to call it, your highest timeline, your greatest potential, your wealth codes, like those are all, in my opinion, like, ways of articulating that experience of really living in the now, really being safe to receive from the universe. And one of the things that I frequently see come through with my clients who are really high achieving, brilliant people, who have already often created incredible things for themselves, for their communities, their families, their businesses. But one of the things that I am always shown, and I laugh because it's just such a, it's not easy, right? One of the things that I am often shown, which ends up leading to massive windfalls for the people that I mentor, is that when you is to gracefully, with as much grace as you possibly can. I'm not saying this is always easy, but one of the things about really creating the life of your dreams and anchoring, especially into more money, is to be open to the messages that are coming through. Because this is the thing, is when you start to sit with spirit and you start to listen to your guides, the things that come through can seem really wacky. They can really invite / require you to move sometimes just a little bit, but sometimes a way big move out of your comfort zone. The things that I'm shown to share with people that will help them build their, interpersonal and professional success, it can, like I said, the things that come through can feel wacky. They can feel really uncomfortable. They can require you to take really big leaps of faith, embodying very deep levels of self-trust. And one of the things is that in order, especially to make more money, often the things that end up leading to you making more money involves you speaking your truth in a much bigger way. So that requires you to shift out of old patterns of codependency and really let your authenticity like fully shine, right? Like allowing yourself to be so relentlessly you. One of the things that people always said to me for my whole life, right? When I've shared this before about like my senior year in high school with senior superlatives, I was voted most free-spirited, which was like very much a backhanded compliment. Like a way of everyone being like, you are weird in a way that we do not understand, but I guess cool stuff, keep on doing it. There was this way where I am so me And I've never fit in a mold. I have a degree from Wesleyan University. I care deeply about, my intellectual curiosity. I love learning. I'm very, very nerdy. I have often said about myself that I am a forever green nerd. Just a joke about, that term evergreen. Yeah, I am a forever green nerd. And I also really love beauty, and I'm pretty, and I am not necessarily the kind of, I have a really deep interest in fashion and makeup and jewelry and ornamentation. I had a very brief stint as an actual cheerleader in middle school. I really defy categorization, right? So I'm like all of those things. I spent some time working in finance for a few years. I saw an old friend last weekend who I've known since I was a freshman in college, and he was laughing. He was like, I still can never believe that you had a Series 7 license, which, for those of you who know about financial things, the Series 7 license is what enables people to be able to work as a broker. I would never have necessarily imagined that to be something that I would have done, but I did, and I loved it. And now I use that time where I worked in finance, I worked in business. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And so I use all of that wisdom that I have, in some ways, because of my family's relationship to entrepreneurship. It's just like literally in my blood, it's in my genes. But I use all of that business acumen and the knowledge that I learned to be able to really essentially tie in the woo-woo, because I'm also so woo-woo, right? I've said it like 6 times already on this call. I've talked to my guides since I was a baby. So you see, this is like really deep call to action. The reason I'm sharing so much about the ways that I am idiosyncratic, right? We wouldn't necessarily, what I mean by that is, like, we wouldn't necessarily imagine that all of those things I just described, someone who had a Series 7 license, someone who talks to their guide and has talked to a guide and channel their guides and channeled light language since they were a baby, and loves fashion. And, it's like, like I have all these like potentially disparate parts of me, but as I sit in that energy of just being like, I am a complex human being. I have many different interests that, in my opinion, align perfectly, but from the outside perspective may not always make a ton of sense to other people. But I really, and it's a journey for me too, right? There are ways where, I get nervous. I'm not perfect. I get nervous. I feel uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, will people think this, that, or the other thing about me? But at the end of the day, the more you sit in your power, the more you sit in your own truth, and you say, like, these are the things about me. I'm no longer going to make myself small or keep my truth to myself because I'm afraid about what my neighbor or my mom or my cousin or my coworker or society will think about me. It's really, we have been being called for years at this point to address our codependence. And those things happen with individuals, and they happen with systems as well. And this is really what we are dismantling now as we move into the new earth. It is about going all in on yourself, going all in on the truth of who you are, and really loving yourself in a way that is bold and dynamic and different than anything that we have ever been taught to do. So that is like sort of step one for common reasons why manifestation doesn't necessarily land, is because when you start working with spirit, you're going to get, shown people, places, things, patterns that you need to dismantle. Energy leaks, we can think of them as like energy leaks, trauma bonds. There are all kinds of different ways of interpreting it, but it's really important to get really crystal clear about who you are, making sure that when you're saying yes to anybody else, that you're not actually disrespecting your own values and needs, desires, dreams. So that's step one in terms of how to really anchor into a profound capacity to create, because this is the thing, you're a creator being. That is the magic of humans, is that we have this incredible magic. We're told, you know, that we do not, and that we're like, "Ugh," like whatever. We're not, it doesn't benefit the systems that are in place right now that are on their way out. It doesn't benefit them to remind you or to tell you how much of an incredible capacity you have to live in that field of money, magic, and miracles always. But your human heart, your body, your spiritual connection are such a massive part of success as we move forward. So then the second thing is something that I also see happen a lot. So the second thing that can happen with manifestation is that you're doing all the things, right? You have something that you have set in your mind as something that you are really looking to create in your life. Maybe it's the new job or a promotion, you know, a new love interest, something, you know, a new home, you're looking for something, you're calling in a new car, whatever it is that you're looking to anchor into. So you put the call out to the universe and you're doing all the things, right? You're vision boarding and you're journaling, you're working with a mentor, you're being honest with yourself. It feels like you're really doing the thing to call in what it is that you're praying for. And you've prayed for, I love to use this example, I'm just going to go with it. You're praying for 12 oranges. All right. So you're doing all the stuff, you're doing your practice, you're sitting in that energy and being like 12 oranges, 12 oranges, 12 oranges. Please, universe, surprise and delight me with 12 oranges, you know, and that's the thing about you, and you're doing it. And then all of a sudden the universe is like, yeah, girl, we hear you. Yep. All right. 12 oranges. But listen, we have to tell you something which you're maybe not going to understand, because humans can be very literal, which is, this is not a judgment against any of us, but it's any human. It's just a part of being human, is that we can be very literal. We asked for 12 oranges and all of a sudden the universe like knocks at our door with a basket full of like 75 different other kinds of fruit and then one orange. And you're like, because of how literal we can get, we have the capacity to miss the boat on the fact that we asked for 12 oranges, but what the world really saw was that there was something better for us. And that's something that I learned how to do something called the Flower of Life meditation, which activates your Merkaba. I learned how to do that in March of 2001. I flew my senior year of college to a suburb of Austin, Texas, and I learned how to do this very profound, very powerful way of working with your own magic, activating your Merkaba. It involved breath work and mudras, meditate. It was really, really, really high level magic. And so I learned how to do that in 2001. So I've been working with this. And one of the things that I always have worked into all of my manifestations, all of my prayers, is that I've always added like a little, you know, caveat to whatever it is that I'm asking for, with the understanding that if my guides in the universe see that there's something better than what my human brain can perceive, to please gift me that. Okay, so the reason that can affect your ability to manifest is that if you're praying for the 12 oranges, you get that basket of 75 other pieces of fruit and then one orange, can feel like nothing is happening because of the way that we can be very literal. So it's important to understand, I always think of that as like an energetic equivalency, right? You asked for 12 oranges and then you got this cornucopia of other fruit. And if you are not aware of the fact that you have in fact received the energetic equivalent of what you asked for in a form that actually suits your soul's growth, right? Then if you kind of fall into the like, oh, it's not working, I asked for this thing and nothing happened, but like all of the things, again, I'm not like saying that in any way to judge anybody, but I think it's really important, especially right now, because our powers to create are so big. It's really important to be aware of that. It's also why it can be really good to work with someone like me, who is a seasoned mentor. It's written into my chart in every way, my human design, my astrology. I'm here to be a guide, and I'm very gifted at being able to see blind spots and be able to understand, those moments where maybe you feel like you asked for something, and I'm really able to illuminate them and be like, oh, you did actually receive the thing that you asked for from an energetic equivalency perspective, but the world had something a little better that met your unique path. And that is a big one. So that was number 2. The third thing that happens is that I see that people really often struggle with is that we need to really be, when you are working on creating something, if you think of the earth and the sky, the heart and the brain, the mother and the father, like there are these, we are in an earthly experience and there are polarities. And in order to be able to form that circle of creation, we need to leverage both our brain and the physical action, and our heart, which is the feeling. And one of the things that is so important from a creation perspective, as you are anchoring into manifestation, is to really be aware of the fact that it's so important, right? You're sitting, you go into your meditation, you close your eyes, you're imagining, the thing that you're asking for, that you're hoping for, that new job, the surprise gift, the new love, what have you. And that you're doing the visualization part of it, but and that's important, right? That vision, that third eye, that brainly way, as it were, of relating is an important part of it. But there's another part of it, if you think of it as like a math equation, if you don't anchor into the actual feeling itself, how it feels when you find out that you got that new job, when you find out that the new house that you've been praying for lands in your lap, that whatever the thing is that you've been asking for, if you don't anchor into how it will feel when that happens, it's like the equation never got completed. So really sit with that, lean into everything that I said. Hopefully all of this stuff is making sense. I really love, I love doing these forecasts. And this is the thing too, is that it's just really, it's really important as we continue to lean into where we're going. It's really important that you be aware of how much power you have to create. The energy we are moving into is different than anything we've ever experienced on Earth before. It is potent. It is so potent. The energetics, whether you believe in this stuff or not, I mean, if you're here, you presumably know that magic is real, and live that truth, but there is a way where we are just being called so deeply right now to fully uncover and align with our psychic gifts, use them to create a profound, extraordinary level of energetic mastery so you are able to create your dreams in a way that is seamless, from a place of gratitude and joy and love. So, all of that being said, I'm very excited for March. There's a lot of opportunity buzzing in the air. We're really hitting that point of actual New Year energy. We were slogging through January and February, and we're moving into something really beautiful and really different in terms of what is possible for us. But it means you need to be crystal clear about what you are and are not open to, and really being completely committed to to finding ways to really move within for yourself and your own sacred journey. So, all that being said, I hope this landed well. If you catch this on the replay, go ahead and let me know. And if you are feeling like you want support in any of this, I mean, all of these things that I talked about, I have been manifesting wild things. I am a master manifester, and I am really good at being able to hold my clients in the energy of helping them realize their own dreams. I can't tell you how many times I've sat with someone on a call. They have shared like what they want in their new house, what they want in, their income, however, whatever it is that they are looking to anchor into. And then it happens, sometimes immediately. And it's wild to see it, but there is a lot of evidence, right? If we want to get like scientific, there's a lot of scientific evidence that all of this spiritual stuff is accurate and real. So the question is, are you going to hear the call from the world, rise to meet yourself in that place of energetic mastery and excellence? Because that is how you create your dream life. I am here to help hold space for you. I have a really exciting it's my new mastermind. It's 6 months long. It's called Gold Standard. I have a beautiful sales page that just recently went up, and it is right now, it is 2,000. You end up saving, let me see, what is it? It's a big discount, because between now and March 14th, it's $2,000 off the full price. And there's an extended payment plan, which you can pay over, I think it's 8 months. There are a couple different ways. I'm going to drop the sales page right in the comments here. So if you are interested in that, feel into it. If you have questions for me, I am here to answer them. You can go ahead and send me a direct message. You can email me. But yeah, reach out. And if you just know that it's a full body, hell yes, then go ahead and just jump right in. There are links on the sales page to be able to sign right up. We kick off in a couple of weeks, and I just can't wait, because I am really excited about everything that I do, but there's something so powerful about this particular container. It's just, it's a little bit hard for me to explain sort of my process, right, from a 3D perspective, because I can just go so deeply and so quickly into the quantum. But whenever I create a new program, a masterclass, a new type of session, any kind of offering, I receive these wild, it's like honestly kind of like being, on like a trip, except I'm just sober and just like living in the quantum field. I experience these wild, full body, full quantum energetic transmissions that involve all of my psychic senses. I see the vibration of my offering. I feel the vibration of my offering. I literally smell things like blossoms and herbs in the air. And those are always the plant allies that are like helping me hold the energy for whatever it is that I'm offering. I'm shown and then met with these incredible galactic and angelic energies, councils of light, light codes, fairy and earth wisdom, the elements, ancestors, record keepers. It's so wild. It's really wild. And I've been able to do this for a very, very long time. I see lots of different things like sacred geometry and all kinds of like wild light that sort of defies the human color spectrum. Really, really, really gorgeous things. And I'm shown the ideal person for the offering. I can see the long-term energetic and often like actual impact from a 3D perspective, the ripples, if you will, that run through space and time in terms of what it is that everyone who joins in, the impact that they will have on them, on their ancestors, on their family, on their communities. It's really amazing. And I'm just really, really proud of this. I'm so excited about this. It's my completely unique, inimitable way of holding space for you to embody and create your unique legacy, to anchor into epic abundance, both personally and professionally. My work ends up really impacting all of you, all parts of your life, and allow and hold space for you to fully embody your unique talents, your gifts, your life's work, your psychic capacity, and really anchor into a deep level of enthusiasm, success, vision, clarity, and seamless embodied action. There's something about working with me where people just feel so much safer from so many different angles to just be fully yourself. And that is what these new earth ways of relating to abundance, the new earth wealth codes, are in so many ways about you finding a way to truly live in your own frequency and use your unique magic to create the life of your dreams and change the planet as a result of that action. So like I said, reach out to me. We kick off in a couple of weeks, and I just can't fucking wait. I'm so excited about it, and I love you. I hope you have a really good weekend. Just an FYI, Lydia Dagarosa and I are going to be going live at 1:00 on Monday on Instagram. So if you have any questions for us, more questions about Gold Standard, questions about anything relating, her zone of genius and area of expertise is marketing, branding, really gifted PR strategist who just fully changes people's lives. So if you have questions about any of that, she is the woman of the hour. And if you have questions for me, like I said, about energetics, about Gold Standard, about the best way, manifestation, energy, the Akashic records, whatever the thing is, light language, I am here to answer those. Love you so much. I will see you on Monday.